Hello noble ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. Today we're going to learn how to tell apart a northern Italian accent from a southern Italian accent. Now by the end of this video you should be able to tell them apart even if you don't understand a single word of Italian. So just keep watching. Okay, so how is this video going to work? Well, what we're going to do, I'm going to tell you some very distinctive sounds and the very distinctive pronunciations that have to do with either northern Italy or southern Italy, so that you can be able to understand whether a person is from the north or from the south. Now, please keep in mind that, of course, intonation plays a very big role, but I am considering this video to be a basic video, and understanding and telling apart into different intonations might be a slightly advanced feature. In this video, however, we will be talking about those very specific things that almost never change between north and south. We're going to talk about the pronunciation of two distinct types of sounds. Now, we do have to keep in mind that not only there is a difference in pronunciation of Italian between north and south, but there are also many different accents and dialects within northern regions and within southern regions. And as a matter of fact, even cities within the same region will have different accents. But the kind of sounds that we will be dealing with today will be common to all northern Italians and to all southern Italians. Now, of course, my community already knows this, but for those of you who are new guests to my channel, I am Italian, I'm a native speaker, I know what I'm talking about. At the end of the video, we'll be showing very short clips of Italians speaking Italian, and you will have to guess whether they are northern or southern. So the way this is going to work, just at the end of the clip, you just write on a piece of paper S if you think the person is southern, and N if you think the person is northern. At the end of the video, I will be giving the answers. Please let me know in the comments below your performance. Okay, so two sounds we're going to address here: the pronunciation of the S and double consonants. Now, beginning from the pronunciation of the S, this is a big distinctive factor between northern Italian and southern Italian. When the S is found in between two vowels, okay, people in the north pronounce it as a Z sound, Z. Instead, people in the south pronounce it as a S sound. Let's see some examples. Casa, casa. Chiesa, chiesa. Filosofia, filosofia. Naso, naso. Risotto, risotto. Lasagne, lasagne. Francese, francese. Inglese, inglese. Okay, I could go on like this forever. If you hear a lot of Z sound in the middle of words, in the middle of sentences, most likely the speaker is northern. If you hear a lot of S sound in the middle of sentences, then most likely the speaker is a southern. Both northern speakers and southern speakers are very proud of their sounds, so you should be able to recognize them quite easily. Occasionally you do find people that kind of switch accents, sometimes depending on where they have lived, but most Italians will follow their own homeland's accent and pronunciation. The only exception to this rule is Tuscany. Well, Tuscany is where Standard Italian was born, and as a matter of fact, Tuscany is a mix of both possibilities. As a matter of fact, if you want to speak with a real Tuscany accent, then you need to know when you're supposed to pronounce an S as Z and when you're supposed to pronounce it like a S. So it is, after all, a more sophisticated system. Double consonants. Now, this is an interesting one. You have to understand that Standard Italian is based on Florence and Siena dialect, okay? So what this means is that each region had and still has its own dialect, and dialects can be completely different from standard language. But people are also able to speak Italian with their own accent. Standard Florence or Tuscany accent has two very interesting rules. When you find two consonants, so a double consonant, you need to make a stronger sound, like in the word Sabbia, Sabbia. I don't say Sabbia, I say Sabbia. And this is a rule that is generally followed by all Italians. Another rule is, though, that if you have an accent, for example, in the verb to be, or the word città, you should always double the sound of the following word, even if it's not written. For example, è sempre, è forte, città santa. And there are many other exceptions like this. So there are situations where you're supposed to double, but it's not written. And these are natural only to people in Tuscany. Now, this Italian standard language was preached in the north, and it became popular in the north through the written method. Whereas in the south, it became popular through spoken language. What this means is that southern people, they don't have problems with doubles, but they like them so much that they started putting doubles everywhere. So now in the south, you will have many words that are not supposed to be doubled, but people double them. For example, subito instead of standard subito, libero instead of standard libero. In the north instead, they double only when it's written double. What this means is that with, for example, the following word, a Roma, a Palermo, a Milano, where you should have a double because of its Latin origin, which comes from the word ad. For example, ad Brundisium, in order to keep the original Latin pace of two words, because if you don't double, it sounds like one. People in the north say a Milano, a Roma, a Palermo, a Brindisi. They make it into one word because they have basically no doubles unless it's written. So, you hear a lot of z and not many doubles, it's a northern accent. You hear a lot of s and a heck of a lot of doubles, it's a southern accent. Well, let's watch these clips now and let's evaluate your performance. Have fun.
Che mi incuriosisce? Boh, forse l'antica Grecia, per vedere qualche cosa di, magari che funzionava, in città-stato, qualcosa di così.
Col suo lungomare liberato.
Siamo contenti di trovare col suo lungomare liberato, però
quali sono le problematiche che avete riscontrato?
Non è vero niente, perché proprio i milanesi hanno mangiato anche questo cibo e via. Ho capito, allora lo funziona tutto così là fuori, è sbagliato.
Cioè, un po' come io vorrei nascere nel periodo dei dinosauri e fare il T-Rex.
Io ho parlato del caso attraverso un sistema di misurazione che viene dato da tutti i partner. Ogni mese vengono con una rosa che può andare dai 3 ai 4 candidati.
adesso siamo venuti, abbiamo visto la pista ciclabile, insomma è una cosa giusta.
Adesso un po' di più, perché prima era un casino parcheggiata, tu sai meglio di me.
Per tempo libero non abbiamo nessun tipo di problema.
Perché i primi loro scendono per mangiare queste cose.
Che mi incuriosisce? Boh, forse l'antica Grecia, per vedere qualche cosa di, magari che funzionava, in città-stato, qualcosa di così.
Col suo lungomare liberato.
Siamo contenti di trovare col suo lungomare liberato, però
quali sono le problematiche che avete riscontrato?
Non è vero niente, perché proprio i milanesi hanno mangiato anche questo cibo e via. Ho capito, allora lo funziona tutto così là fuori, è sbagliato.
Cioè, un po' come io vorrei nascere nel periodo dei dinosauri e fare il T-Rex.
Io ho parlato del caso attraverso un sistema di misurazione che viene dato da tutti i partner. Ogni mese vengono...
Adesso siamo venuti, abbiamo visto la pista ciclabile, insomma è una cosa giusta.
Adesso un po' di più, perché prima era un casino parcheggiata, tu sai meglio di me.
Perché i primi loro scendono per mangiare queste cose.
Okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. You could learn something. Please let me know in the comments below how you did. Did you manage to recognize these accents? Could you tell them apart, whether they were northern or whether they were southern? Well, if you did, you're great. And if you couldn't, then watch again this video and try to focus on those sounds and isolate them in your ears. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, the Metatron has spread his wings. Arrivederci.
Hanno mangiato anche questo